Hey folks, I'm getting ready to put an addition on squirrel this morning. It's Saturday morning, beautiful fall. Finally got some cool weather in. I actually went to Cabela's and picked up an active target and also a down rod system from Fishing Specialties. So let's get into it and we'll break this thing open, start putting it together, get it mounted. So here's the Lowrance, and we open it up, and I've already broke into everything. So here's the and open it up like that, open up like a shoe box, and then what we got here is we got the manual, and we got warranty information. So when you order the active target, it's going to come with mounts. We're actually not going to use these. I did buy a down rod system, but I actually upgraded the down rod system so I don't have to hook this on the rod, and I'm not going to put it on the trolling motor because I have a Minn Kota Tarova with spot lock on it, and so I want to be able to spot lock while I'm looking for fish. So I'm just going to set these off to the side. So what we're going to have here is, and this is the first time I've really got into it, we've got this big module, active target, sonar, ethernet, and power, and it's supposed to have that cable and stuff in there, which I hope it does. And get the magic out right here. So there's my ethernet cable. That's going to go from the module to my carbon unit that I'm going to hook into it. I'll set it right on top of there. And here is the transducer that we're going to get ready to mount on this down rod system. Let's see what else we got in here. It's got a box of hardware, and again, I shouldn't need any of that. A clamp if you want to mount it to your trolling motor, and then of course the power cable, because that module has to have its own power. So that's what so I'm going to need in order to get this thing humming, I'm going to need that Ethernet cable, this and this, and get it hooked up. But everything else should be just extra hardware that I don't need. I'll put to the side in case I ever decide to take and do something else with it. I'll open up this little box, show you what's in it. It's just more hardware and mounts to mount the actual sonar to the side of the trolling motor unit. And it doesn't want to come out of there. And again, I'm going to put all this back in here because the big surprise is ordered this down rod system from Fishing Specialties out in Colorado. Number one, you get a Fishing Specialties pamphlet, no matter if you have Garmin, Lowrance, Humminbird. If you're mounting a transducer to it, it comes all colored. It's a nice brochure. It's easy to read, and tells you exactly what you need to do in order to mount it to whatever type transducer that you're using. Comes with a book, comes with a base plate, comes with the down rod, and it's packed in and rolled in paper. I've already had this out, but there you go. Fishing Specialties down rod. So it comes ready there, and then it comes with the clips that I ordered, the storage. So when I'm running down the lake, they tape it together real nice so that it's not all over the place, but that way I can mount that on the side of my pontoon. I can put it really wherever I want to put it, and then that'll clip in so that it's not banging around on the floor and running into stuff. So I got that. It's got a tether to keep from losing it overboard in case. They supply this with a base plate, and they supply plastic screws which are right here in this pack. But these plastic screws, they recommend only 2 in it diagonal, so that if you were to hit something with it in the water and the boat moving, you're not gonna break your transducer, because these transducers aren't cheap. So it's better just to break a little breakaway plastic bolt, and then that tether keeps from it going overboard and dangling by your cable that's going to your unit. Something that I ordered that is extra, it's optional, and I wanted the ability to change modes without having to take apart and put a different mount in order to go from forward view to perspective, because I want to be able to go get bait fish, and I want to be able to crappie fish. I don't know that I'm going to use the down scan, the down mode a lot, but I want to be able to turn it up to where I can pan and see my bait fish, and I also want to be able to take and do the forward, so when I go crappie fishing. So I've got that mount right there that's going to go right on the bottom of the base plate that goes here. So that's what you get. That's all the pieces. And the only thing that I did different was I ordered this little thing off of Amazon, and I also ordered another ram mount C-size. This did not come from Fishing Specialties. Hopefully this is going to be ingenious. If it's not ingenious, it's going to be a waste of money. So, but this is my plan. I've got an extra one to mount somewhere else on my boat. I'm going to mount this one to the back of the boat right now, meaning that maybe I'll mount this one towards the front of the boat. And my idea is to take the pole mount, and I can mount it just like that, and I can snug it up a little, and hopefully that'll give me some movement. If I were to hit something with it, it's going to allow it to take and spin and move and not be super rigid. That's kind of where I'm going with it as well. But the main thing is being able to have nothing but a ram mount mounted on my boat and be able to take and move it. So I can, if my boat is sitting here, and we'll go down there and put it on squirrel in a minute. But if I'm sitting just like this, then this pole will just go in, slide down, lock it like this, and now I can have it on the back of my boat, and I can turn right back around and move it to the front of my boat. So that's it. That's the toys. Let's get to put this thing together. It does come with one other thing that I've got buried in this newspaper. One of the more important things. Let me set this to the side. Where's my handle? There's a handle buried in here somewhere. Here we go. There we go. So that's gonna go in like that, and then this handle is angled. So I've already had it out, been taking a peek, and when you look down the barrel, hopefully you'll be able to see it down the barrel of this pipe, you're gonna see that this collar right here has got a screw that goes in, and the very end's got a screw that's going to mount that base plate to it. And you can see how they're protruding through the tube. So I could either go get wire loom. I don't want to just run my cable through there, because I have those screws that are hanging out, and this thing costs a lot of money right here. I don't want to take and nick that cable, have it wear over time. So I'm trying something else different. I got a piece of 3/4 inch pipe insulation. What I tried to do is see if when I split it, just like you're gonna put it over a plumbing pipe, I tried to roll it tight and see if I could put it down this 1.5 inch tube. Now, plastic wire loom would go right down, no problem, that would protect it. But I had this laying around the house, so I figured, okay, how am I gonna make this work? Well, it won't go in like that. It's just too much, even when I overlap it. I could tape it tight and try to work it down in there, but I want to try something. Don't know that this is going to work, but we're going to give it a shot. Get my carpet cutting knife out right here. And I'm just going to split this in half. Maybe a little. Yeah, we'll just go in half with it. So now this isn't going to be perfect. I know there's ways to get it perfect. But I'm wanting to get this transducer on squirrel. I'm going fishing this afternoon. I'm going to hit a couple of green lights tonight, and I want to see this thing in action. So I just cut that in half and see whether or not, if I wrap that cable around it, if I can push it down the tube without a whole lot of difficulty. And that goes in a whole lot better. So now it's going to go down and hit this screw right now, but I'm going to pull this screw out when I feed my transducer cable in. So let's get on with it. In order to put this together, I think the only thing I'm going to need is a number 2 Phillips screwdriver. I'm going to go ahead and take this collar off because I want this to be easy to slide my transducer cable in. No issues whatsoever. There we go. That's out. Slide that off. So that's going to be my down part. And then I'm going to take this screw out right here. And you can tell I have already went through and read the directions on these things. Kind of see how this thing is going to go together. But all I'm going to need is this. And that gets pressed into the top just to help protect the wire as it comes out the top of the mount. These are the little plastic breakaways that I am not using because I'm using the ram mount. I bought the C-ram. So I'm going to put it back up, and I'll end up putting it in here in a minute. And this is another hardware that goes to mount this little unit that fell out of the box. Open it up in a minute. We'll go ahead and take a peek. See what we got in here. It comes with a fuse. Good old Lowrance. They got me taken care of. So I've got some mounting screws if I wanted to mount the module box, and I'm not sure. This is a grounding screw that's going to mount to the top of the box, and I got a couple of connectors on the bottom. First things first, I am going to need, turn this the right way. I'm just going to put it on like that. Get it lined up. Put the screw back in. Now all I'm going to do is start feeding it through the pole and go out the top. It's the bottom. Keep on going. Pull it through. Get this untangled. Get the twist out of it. So now I've got enough of my cord out to where I can, where I think I'm going to be close. I hope it's going to work. All right, back out she goes. This ain't working. Try something different right here. Plastic wire loom would definitely be easier. That didn't work. Hadn't done it before, folks. Haven't done it. Slide that on. Come on down. Come on down. Come on down. All the way to here. Seat that down. Got that on. Now to protect that cable. Got it. That's going through there like that, and I really don't like that. I may take a piece of that foam and put on there regardless. They can cut me a little piece of it. And what I'm doing is I don't like how that screw's coming right there, and if I leave it in here, which I'm going to leave it in here, I don't want it to end up getting into that cable. So I'm just taking that piece of foam, putting right there just to protect this cable from that screw in here, to keep it from rubbing on it. It shouldn't get a whole lot of rubbing. I'm gonna make sure it doesn't get any rubbing. So I'm gonna take out this little 1-inch round ball that I ordered. Install the round ball stud in to the transducer. Be sure to use the star washer between the transducer and ball. Ball is mounted on the opposite side of the temperature sending disc. Okay, so where's the temperature sending disc? That's that little silver deal right there. So the ball is mounted on this particular side, and that little star washer, they say be sure to use. So I'm going to use, come on, and then I'm just going to thread this on.
Now I could take this off and make it a little bit easier. Come on. Take that little 1-inch ball, and I'm just going to snug it up.
Snugging it by hand. I'm not going to put anything. Get it nice and tight to where it's not going to move. So I got one there. The other one is going to line up right here. It's not going to cooperate, folks. So now I just got to put enough pressure. I'm cutting threads in this plastic. So I just got to put some force on it. But that should be forward. There's my forward transducer. That's going to be my down, and that's going to be my scout. So that right there has got to be level, and that's what's actually shooting forward. So that should be money right there. That should be it, and that's enough. So it'll go like that. And then when I want to do the scout is going to go like this and swivel like this. The only thing I've got left to do as far as the down rod goes is put this handle on. No, it's not. I got to put this collar on. Y'all let me forget the collar. The collar. And they said don't put that little insert in there until you get the handle and this collar on. I hope it'll go over it. It'll go over it. Whew, it went over it. So now I'm gonna bring the collar down. I'm gonna take a chance. It's gonna go right there. I'm also gonna see if I can put a piece of stuffing in it. That'll be long enough to go all the way down to that screw to protect my wire cable. So that's what I'm gonna do. This is getting heavy. That transducer is not light, folks. Not light at all. This is where I'm going to need the loom. I know this ain't going to work. There ain't no way this is going to work. Is it going to work? It ain't going to work. There's no way that's going to work. Folks, I can't believe that worked. That was long enough to go down to here, and now I've got some protection on that cable from my handle that I'm going to put on, as well as putting that on. So this little collar that's going to go to my bump stop, I'm going to put it on.
Get my number 2 Phillips back out, and that's going to kind of be the deal the whole way. Number 2 Phillips. That should be deep enough. That should go in the water. And then, lastly, now here's the ticket on this. You can spin it around if you need to. They got this one screw right here. Again, that screw's going to be going on the inside of that tube. And I'm going to back that screw out to where I can slide it over. Right, now I can get it over top of it. Let's see what we see. There's on here. Right down. I'm going to go all the way to the top. I'm going to do that with it.
So now I've got a completely put together down rod with my transducer Lowrance Active target mounted to it, and I gotta mount this to the deck of my boat. When I get that, I'll be able to set the pole in, and then I just need to wire it up. As far as wiring goes, in the instructions, the only thing, I got to put that fuse in between there and the hot. The yellow and the red will actually go together because I want, as soon as I power it up, I want the module to turn on. Blue's not used, black on the ground. Okay, we're down here on Squirrel, and I was just checking to make sure my cable was long enough. I'm planning on just hooking up to my battery underneath my console so I can go all the way to the front of my boat easily. But the farthest position that I want to be able to mount this and use it mostly is at the back, because I love fishing off the back of here. So I'm gonna, my idea is to take this round ball and be able to mount it at the back of the boat. I either thought about mounting it here on the very corner, because I took the ladder off. If I went back with the ladder, I would have to put it up here, which would not be a problem as long as the handle wouldn't hit and be in the way. But I think for trial purposes, I'm gonna take and put it right here. All right, so let's mount the round ball. Let's get on with it. Let's do it even if it's wrong. How about that? All right, that's solid. That's not going anywhere. So now here's my extra one. I'm gonna take it off. Now, one thing I'll have to be careful of with this round ball system is I don't have it tethered. And if I turn loose of it, I'm gonna lose a $70 plate. And I don't wanna lose a $70 plate. So that's how I plan on running it the majority of the time. If I put it like that, I should be able to take my transducer once I get everything hooked up. Then, I don't know if y'all can see that, but it's definitely below my pontoon. And if I hit something, there's enough wobble and flex that hopefully it'll knock my round ball around and not tear up my my mount. So that's it. That's how I'm doing it. I'm gonna give it a shot, see how I like it. It's not the base plate system that you get with Fishing Specialties. I don't have an extension. If I wanted to make a mount closer over here to my railing, I would have to have an extension at least 2 feet to get me up to where I could point and aim. But right now, the way I got the handle, like this direction is where I'm gonna be, my transducer is gonna be pointing forward scan. So now all I have left to do is to wire this thing up, get my hot and my grounds hooked up, put my graph on the boat, and we're gonna give it a shot. Okay, I got my power all hooked up, and now I am undoing my Ethernet cable. I'm gonna plug it in the back of the unit. Now I went ahead and powered up. I'm gonna go ahead and shut it back down. But this active target came with the Ethernet cable to hook it up. The power is hooked up to where my graphs are hooked up. I ran a separate cable back to my battery just to be sure I didn't have any interference. And now I'm gonna run down, hooking in to the box. So power's hooked in. I've got it run to a toggle switch on my dash, my console, so I could turn the power on and off. And now hook the Ethernet cable in. That's what's gonna show my screen on the graph. And now the last thing to do is hook up my sonar. There's one little tab, it goes to the side. Right in there, right there. That's it. That's locked in. I'm gonna slide this magic box right here. And before I turn anything on, I'm gonna take the transducer and we're gonna run it to the back. Flip that so it doesn't come out. And now, the first time turning this on, I feel like Christmas Vacation and the Christmas lights. I hope it goes better than Clark. I'm gonna turn the graph back on. It's been a while, folks, since I've been fishing. You know it's been a while when you turn on your graph and you got updates that need to be installed. That's pretty bad. Now I'm gonna turn it on. I'm gonna power up. I'm gonna hit pages. And I should have active target pop up here. Not right now. Next restart. Active target sonar has been discovered on your system. There are some important configurations that need to be completed before this feature is ready to use. Okay, configure now. I have no idea what this is. So here we go. Y'all are seeing it as I'm seeing it. So all I did is I had my unit fired up. I got a toggle right here where I flipped and turned my box on. And then, so now it finally recognizes it, wants no fresh or salt, so I fish fresh water. Well, so that's it. Ready to use, finish. Enabled, okay. Active target, boom. And that's my first sight, and I got something right here. It's moving. I'm pointed out the back of the boat, and there's something moving right here. Again, this is the first time that I have fired up live scope. I got something shooting up off the bottom. I don't know if that's picking up an air bubble. The way that's going up, that's almost like it's an air bubble or something that's picking up. Okay, so all the way out to 70 as far as it'll go. Menu, contrast, auto, noise rejection low. Let's turn noise rejection off. Range. So right now I'm at 20 feet. I'm on auto. I'm gonna leave it like that until I can figure out how to use this thing. If I go to more options, grid, I got none. Let's see. Woo, okay. A little different so I can actually see where they're at. I'm gonna go none right now. Back. I can record a video. I can stop sonar, so let's just stop sonar a minute. Sonar stop, go back, start it back up. And I know it says not to pull this thing out of the water as long as you got it on. So you have to hit that stop sonar, and I put this toggle on it just in case. But if this helps you out, hey, do me a favor, hit that thumbs up, and please consider subscribing. It will definitely help me out. I appreciate it. God bless, and we'll catch you on the water.